There are 5 Grade 2 listed structures in Lees. They are Leesbrook Mill, Wellfield House, St Thomas's Church, Lees War Memorial, and Hay Lane Mill, better known as Acorn Mill. James Dyson and Son were running a public house before they built the first mill on the site in 1800, making this the earliest cotton mill in Lees. It was an integrated cotton spinning and weaving mill, built in several phases between 1800 and 1823. The original building was afterwards known as the Old Factory, to distinguish it from the Middle and New factories. Although the old mill was said to have burnt down in 1825, it seems likely that the small building which comprises the northern part of the Eastern Range is what remains of the original building, with the new and middle mills adjoining it to the south. The entire facility was rebuilt between 1830 and 1840, using roughly squared, uncoursed rubble stone and Welsh roofing slate, including a new chimney, which blew down in the violent storm of January 1839. The loading bay is one of the original features still recognisable from the 19th century origins, though altered and enlarged. Above these loading bays are the original iron fire escapes, still proudly holding their makers' names. Joseph and James Hall were fire engineers, based at Vulcan Works, Anglesey Street, Park Road, Oldham, established in 1848. The following is from the Cotton Factory Times, Friday, the 18th of December, 1896. Old names for old mills. Chatting with an elderly friend, he mentioned in his converse several times Dyson's Mill. Reluctantly, we asked him which mill he meant. "Oh," he said, "what is now the Acorn Mill Company was Dyson's Mill. Before it became property of the Taylor family, it was owned and worked by the family named Dyson." Then one of our friends was narrating of the time. He said his father and some partner had machinery in the old bookbinder factory that was in the old factory of Nicholson's, the printer and bookbinders. Then there would not be the little mill at the top of Brook Lane. Now there is not a vestige of it left. Cotton spinners, Samuel Taylor and Sons, owned the business between 1891, when the Acorn Mill Company was formed. The Acorn Mill Company ran 13,000 twist and 17,000 weft spindles, but according to the Manchester Courier of Thursday, the 5th of April 1900, they weren't entirely law-abiding. Offences under the Factory Acts. At the Ashton-under-Lyne County Police Court yesterday, the Acorn Mill Company, Lees, Oldham, were summoned in 11 different cases for employing females after 5:30 at night. Mr. Crabtree, inspector of the factories, stated that when he entered the mill, a number of other females cleared out by another door. Fines amounting to over £8 were inflicted. Acorn Mill also had its own mysterious death. From the Manchester Evening News, Wednesday the 23rd of September, 1903. A mysterious drowning case. Today, Mr. J. F. Price, County Coroner, inquired into the case of the death of Melanie Shaw, 48 years of age, a collier from Church Street, Goldbourne, near Wigan. Shaw, on Saturday, last went out for the purpose of going to Lees, Oldham. He saw a friend there, who promised to put him up for the night, if he would see him later. The deceased, however, never turned up. and on Monday morning he was found in the lodge of the Acorn Mill, drowned. One witness, named Fred Wormold, told the court that on Saturday night Shaw, who had had some drink, inquired of him the direction of the Acorn Mill, saying he wanted to find a friend of his there. There was no evidence to show how the deceased got in the water, and an open verdict was returned. On September 23rd, 1910, the Cotton Factory Times told of a compensation case. Little Tenters, pay reduced. Before Judge Bradbury at the Oldham County Court on Thursday week, the Acorn Mill Company, Lees, sought a diminution of compensation paid to a little tenter named Ethel Dearden of 3 Princess Street, Lees. Mr. Taylor of Blackburn said that in April 1909 her right thumb was injured and the use of the thumb was impaired. The company now said that she was able to resume her occupation, and the case had gone to a medical referee, who reported that she was able to do work that a person without a right thumb could do, such as confectionery or child-minding, etc. The company had a girl in the mill who had lost her right thumb, and who was nevertheless one of the best tenters in the mill. The applicant said she could not work at anything, but her stepfather and mother kept 2 lodging houses, and she was helping them, and with short time being worked, she was probably making more money with her compensation than she ever had done working. Evidence was given by Wright Ainsworth, carder at the mill, and by Sarah Shaw, a big tenter, who had lost her right thumb. Evidence was also given by the girl and other witnesses that she could not do her job, but the judge formed the opinion that the girl ought to try and work again, and reduced her compensation from 9 shillings and 4pence to 1 shilling and 6pence per week. Another fire occurred in 1911, picked up as far afield as the Hartlepool Northern Daily Mail. Factory fires, Oldham. On Monday afternoon, a piercer named Owen was having his dinner at the Acorn Mill around 1 o'clock, when he noticed that a fire had broken out in the 3rd spinning room. The Oldham Fire Brigade was immediately sent for, and on their arrival they found the room well alight. It was reported that there was someone in the room, and Superintendent Boardman got 1 or 2 firemen to go inside, but received no response to their calls. Nor did their search reveal anyone. After working about half an hour, they had the fire under control. The outbreak was confirmed to be the room in which it commenced. Several of the mule carriage were badly damaged. The cause of the fire is unknown. An exciting incident occurred when the fire was at its worst, and there seemed to be the likelihood of it involving the whole mill. The mill is built out of stone in 2 parts, separated by the engine house and a solid stone wall. In the other part there was a number of tenters working. An alarm was given that the fire was spreading to that end, and great excitement prevailed as these women were taken out through the windows on both sides of the mill. Some of them came out laughing and joking, but others were in a fainting condition, and had to be caught by willing hands among the crowd, as they were flung out of the windows some 6 feet to the ground. It transpired afterwards that they had not been in any real danger, but their rescue was very exciting. It is insured with the Phoenix Assurance Company, and contains some 34,000 spindles, of which 20,000 are weft, in which part the fire occurred, and 90,000 are twist. The company is a semi-private one with few shareholders. The managing director is Mr. Newton Broadbent, and the secretary, Mr. S. Ogden, who is away on holiday. It is singular to note that this was the first day that Mr. Ogden had ever been on holiday, when the mill was working. Some 100 of the operatives will be thrown out of employment for some weeks through fire. The damage has not yet been officially estimated, but including that caused by the water, as by the fire, it is probably going to be no less than £10,000. The cause of the fire is unknown, but it is suspected friction at the headstock prior to the dinner hour stoppage has caused the fire, which smouldered until discovery a few minutes after the machinery stopped. In 1918, Edward Rushton, son and Kenyon were instructed to sell by auction the whole of the cotton spinning machinery, including 2 Lancashire steam boilers built by the Oldham Boiler Works and a pair of Beam condensing steam engines, as well as almost 31,000 spinning mules. Working for the Acorn Mill Company for over 25 years was a yarn spinner and weaver by the name of James Scott. In 1924, the company's mill was yet again badly damaged by fire, and the owners decided to close the business. As a reward for his hard work and service, the owners allowed James to salvage whatever spinning, weaving and sewing machinery that could be repaired. The rest, as you say, is history. In 1925, for the first time, James started manufacturing cleaning cloths for himself at Acorn Mill. 5 years later, his only son, Robert, joined the firm and gradually took over the running of the business, which was now manufacturing mops, dishcloths, oven and floor cloths. Robert Scott now operates out of Oakview Mills, Manchester Road, Greenfield, and Millersbrook Mill, Heywood. For some time prior to 1933, the larger middle and new mills were owned by C.S. Pickford, Lee's Doubling Company, when A. Warren and Sons, plumbers merchants, bought part of the factory in 1936. They went on to own the whole factory by 1950. In 1957, it was acquired by E. Eckerstall for cotton doubling and eventually carpet weaving in 1973. According to estate agents, the entire mill is now highly sought after property, as flats are in high demand so close to the centre of Leeds. Although the mill does not survive complete, as there is no visible engine house or other elements of power transmission, it is still a good example of an integrated mill planned around a courtyard, and with multi-phase construction reflecting rapid expansion of the business. The original mill owner's house is still on the corner of Acorn Street and is now used as a workshop. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, we're going to visit every mill listed in the Metropolitan Borough of Oldham. So if you did work in any of the A mills, then please drop us an email telling us a little about what you did, and we'll give you a mention when we reach that mill. Please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.